Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final day of FF13. Probably the last time I'll ever play this game, in total sincerity. I literally still have sweat on me. I literally just finished exercising. I have been so rushed lately, trying to cram everything in and get everything done. Holy moly. I've even been horrifically slandered, and my honor has been impugned by the ever-awesome Dark Pixel Gaming for assuming that I'm merely ignoring them, when in fact I've just been having busyness dribble out my ears. Right, so I've just got off the exercise machine. I've been running around since about 6 this morning. I have refreshed myself on the FF13 Ultimania. What very little there is, there's actually not a lot translated for the FF13 Ultimania. Go! Believe it or not. And I'm ready for what is, in my opinion, the worst dungeon in the game by a fairly large margin. Actually, this place, I hate this place. I absolutely hate this place. This place disgusts me. On a deeply personal... That's not true. That's actually that's an exaggeration. Is this the one? No, I definitely don't want those cheats. Worst dungeon in the series? Let me think on that. I'm serious. Let me think on that one. Hang on, just setting up a couple things here. I shouldn't do this, but I'm just curious what happens. Yeah! Check it out, I can zoom the camera out. Yeah! Zoom the camera out. Woo! Zoom the camera out. What's that? You want me to zoom the camera in? Ah, I can do that too. Alright, so here's the zoomed in camera. Oh god! Oh god! Where am I? There we go. Okay, I can see where I am. Zoomed in camera. Zoomed in camera. This is as far in as it goes, apparently. This is set to a very small variable here. Let's set that back to something reasonable, shall we? Let's set it to this much. You know what? I probably shouldn't actually mess with the cameras. It might crash like a cutscene later or something, but I like the idea of moving the camera out. It's just kind of an idea I enjoy. But we'll stop messing with the camera. There. Okay. Anyways, I mean, some games have a toggle where you just drag the bar to whether you want a closer camera or a farther camera. Here you have to live alter the memory for the variable of the camera distance. Because console games. Oh god, I have no idea how to get through this place. Alright, so I know you guys want the in-depth, complicated, extensive lore for the place. There is none! There is so little lore for this place that there's actually no explanation for what the false C at the top is doing, or what the guys are in here. I don't remember their names. They're so irrelevant. The statue guys. There's statue guys in here. And these statue guys are against the false C. And they go off and fight crime or something. I mean, seriously. And there's the false C dude. I have no idea what he's up to. He's here. Hi, what's up, buddy?
You again, huh?
How's it going? You're really ugly. Christ, you are so ugly.
Retreat!
Why? We can just kill it. Come on. Let me kill it!
That thing packs a punch.
So... I hate this tower. I really hate this tower. So yeah, these guys. You might be like, what's the complex, in-depth...
I gotta check that out.
There is none. There is no lore for these guys. None. I don't even know what they are. I can tell you a bit more about what the Eidolons are, even though that doesn't make sense either. I can also tell you who the Maker is. Would you like to know who they're referring to when they talk about the Maker? You ready for this, guys? This is going to be some blow-your-mind kind of lore here. Taking the award for being vague for the sake of vagueness, the Maker refers to Pulse and Lindsay simultaneously. Because apparently the Fal'Cie really haven't taken their grammar lessons to heart.
To the victor go the spoils.
Yeah, I know, right? It's just... What? You decided to go with that as your... Oh, come on. That's just being vague for vague's sake. You know what's funny? So I'm going to talk a little bit more about the mythos today because it's actually somewhat relevant to the conclusion of this game. But it's funny because the mythos and the backstory of the lore basically doesn't matter for the entire game until you reach the very end. And even then, it's only just kind of a, here's what's going on, sort of a thing. Or I suppose I'd say, here's why, what's going on. But I want to stress something, because I bothered to look this up. This is hysterical. Did you know Etro is opposing the Fal'Cie every step of the way? That's why she intervened in the War of Transgression. That's why she intervenes in this game 3 times total. Directly intervenes. See, the thing is, the overall plot of the Fal'Cie is to kill basically every remaining human. Now, for those of you not aware, there's this thing called Chaos, which isn't actually that relevant in 13, comes up a lot more in 13.2, and is all over the place in 13.3. Anyways, this thing, called Chaos, it's kind of an inverse life stream. I'll discuss the specifics of what it is and what it does a little bit more later. All you need to know right now is that it is very important that a certain percentage of chaos is here. Whoops. It's a certain percentage of chaos is here in the living realm and in the unseen realm at any given point in time. Too much chaos on either side, and the universe is destroyed because of the destabilization. Chaos is in humans. So what do you think killing every human on a planet's gonna do? Hence, why Etro is so opposed to the idea, because Etro's only actual job right now is trying to maintain that stupid balance. Although, I've never understood why she ended up basically bequeathing that unto Caius? Caius? I don't actually remember how to pronounce his name, for some reason, but whatever. So yeah, it's actually really funny to me because it's even mentioned that the Fal'Cie are basically just like, man, we really want to get in touch with the Maker, which again, in this case, specifically refers to both Pulse and Lindsay, not actually Bunavesabla, because they don't even know Bunavesabla exists. But regardless, they want to reconnect with the Maker, right? So, okay, logical, I'm with that. But they have no idea how to do it, and they're just trying whatever comes to mind. It is actually hysterical to me that their biggest attempt, they're like, okay, we're gonna go do this, is the thing that would ensure that they never meet them. Because it would just wreck everything. Hey, yeah, go kill another guy. Okay. Well, I think the best way to explain it without going in-depth into chaos is think of humanity as, you know, livers. I know that's a really weird analogy, but think of humanity as if they are the liver of the universe. They need to temporarily hold on to this. I may be using the wrong organ, actually. They need to temporarily hold on to all this poison, which is basically what chaos is, until it can be cycled back into the unseen realm and cycled back into people. So... Block? Block? Oh, I don't have a cheat on. No wonder. There we go. Let's just mega stagger here. Also, both the games and the Ultimania have stated two separate sources for the origin of what Chaos is and why it is. I will explain both of those to you later, because they relate to Yule. God, that's loud. Oh man, I'm so glad those guys got rid of that, like, 5-foot fire.
Alright.
Alright.
Anyways, so there's two separate explanations for where Chaos started. One of which involves timey-wiminess, and the other of which is not really an explanation at all.
Right, here we go again.
Can't take a hint.
You're one to talk.
Ow.
Woo! I'll be damned.
So the only thing we know about these statue guys is that they fight evil. Seriously.
Are they sad?
Well, I guess the way is open now.
Like, that's their goal, fighting evil. I think it's telling that they immediately go after the fal'Cie, but whatever. Yeah, I remember the boss of this place as being a colossal pain, even when cheating.
Appreciate it.
So, to answer Cosmic Turtle's comment there, he mentions that it feels like the developers kind of were changing their mind with how to do this game. Actually, this is part of that whole rush development thing. Yet again, one of these days I might talk about a Final Fantasy where I don't mention rush development. But given that FF15 is the last one on the docket, not anytime soon.
Here.
I'm going to pause, actually, to really talk about this really quick, because, well, no, we'll just... Don't let me forget. Don't let me forget. Oh, wait, I thought there was going to be a cutscene there. I guess not. Well, anyways... God damn it. Moving on. So, the original intent was to have what is effectively 2 Final Fantasy games. No, I'm dead serious. They actually wanted 2 different methods of combat and everything. Think of it this way. They wanted FF13 and FF15 in one game. Now, I don't mean, like, story-wise. I mean gameplay-wise. They wanted the first half of the game, everything on Cocoon, to be ATB, you know, alternate combat system, you know, and then you're in a little separate combat thing, all that stuff, right? And then when you got down to Grand Pulse, the idea was that the ATB would be gone. There would be no more ATB, no more entering combat mode or anything like that. It would just be full ARPG as soon as you hit Grand Pulse. Obviously, that was a little bit too ambitious for the time and for the issues they were having. So instead, they still wanted to kind of keep the general framework of the idea going. So they came up with the idea for what became the Arclight Steps. I have to admit, I like the idea as a concept. Oh no, Fallout Bear. If you're playing this game normally, you need to have pretty specific strategies for a lot of the bosses in this game. And pretty specific setups. And there are multiple strategies that can't work as well. Either way, I have to admit, from a designer perspective, I love the concept of multiple gameplay styles as a storytelling element. Because that was the whole point, trying to showcase the severe difference between Grand Pulse and Cocoon. Because Grand Pulse was always supposed to be the natural, and Cocoon was always supposed to be the artificial. Now, as everyone in chat is pointing out, there are several problems with that. But the most obvious one is the fact that it was supposed to be half of the game and half of the game, when in reality it's more like 80% of the game, 20% of the game. I mean, the Cocoon part of the game is the overwhelming majority of the actual game. We're like 3 hours from the end of the game right now. Granted, that's cheating and not doing side quests, but you get the point, right? There really isn't that much game left from this point on. There's the side quests and the steps, there's the tower, the town, the re-invasion of Cocoon, and then final dungeon, and that's it. I might be missing a couple things there, but that's the general gist of it. And of course, the third problem with this is the fact that it was such an ambitious idea that they ended up curtailing themselves in attempting to accomplish it. They're like, okay, we're gonna do this. Oh, we can't do this. Okay, what do we do? And that's why Grand Pulse is basically empty when it comes to content. I mean, what is in Grand Pulse, really? Big open areas, lots of grinding for equipment, side quests, the tower, the town, the empty, dead town of Orphan. Am I missing anything there? Like, I'm asking sincerely, because I can't think of anything else. I mean, you'll notice they're even shoving the side quest mechanic that they added for the Arclight Steps into the tower here, into this dungeon. And some of these side quests are kind of eyebrow-raising. Go kill this guy over here. Okay. I have to.
Did you see that coming?
That health. Oh, look at that health.
The old man still got it.
So, I was asked a question earlier that I'm still kind of mulling over in the back of my mind. Is there a worse dungeon in the Final Fantasy series than this one? And I think I do actually have a legitimate answer to that one. Via Infinito. Now, that's almost an easy answer. In fact, I'm kicking myself for not thinking of it earlier. Now, I'm legitimately wondering if there's any other dungeons I dislike more than this place. The Great Crystal, Reki? Because that was one I was considering as well. FF2's dungeons are garbage, that is true. Like, universally. I think the only dungeon that's decent at all in FF2 is Pandemonium, and even that's kind of a cheat.
Must have overlooked something.
See, the thing is, I'm torn on this because this is always the question that comes up when you really start analyzing works. You have to decide what's worse. Something that's bad or something that's boring. You know, in other words, something that is simply badly designed or something that you just don't enjoy. So, I mean, which is worse, right? Because the dungeons in FF2 are garbage. They are terribly designed garbage. I've talked about this when we were going through the FF2 lore run. I would say this dungeon is more boring than the FF2 dungeons, but that being said, the FF2 dungeons are definitively worse than this one. So it's kind of one of those, which is a less good dungeon, right?
Did you come over here?
How do you decide that? It actually goes back to that whole thing with Ride to Hell Retribution. I've actually been called out for saying that Ride to Hell Retribution is such a terrible game, considering that there's so many games that are worse, but specifically referring to games that are terribly programmed, terribly made. I mean, how many games came out on Steam? Just to name a simple example of this. This year, 2017, how many games have come out on Steam this year that are definitively worse than Ride to Hell Retribution? 200? 300? You get my point? Because they were made by idiots, or asset flippers, or people who have no idea what they're doing, or people who are deliberately trying to just cash grab, or whatever. And that's ignoring shovelware, using the classic definition of shovelware, which is licensed games that are, by the nature of how shovelware tends to work, generally terrible. You see the problem that comes up? Ride to Hell Retribution, for all of its horrific flaws, is a functional game. But does that make it then worse or better than garbage games that don't even really work? Like, what's worse? Final Fantasy All the Bravest, or that new FF15 Empire garbage game? Which is worse? One of those isn't even a game. The other one is actually a game. You know? Honestly, one of these days I think I'm going to sit down and kind of diverge those categories. Category of stuff that's bad because it's terribly constructed, and stuff that's bad because it's bad. You know what I mean? Let me use another example for you. How terrible is Mass Effect 3? Really? Don't, I mean, I know that's coming from me, but sit back and really think about this for a moment. Compare Mass Effect 3 to, I don't know, those 100 Steam games I just mentioned, right? I mean, Mass Effect 3 is a fully functional game, with even good combat, even. A bit bleh on the AI design, but still, good combat. Right? How does Mass Effect 3 compare against a game that is barely functional? This is one of the reasons why the game that I still to this day list as my worst game of all time ever, no really, is E.T. on the Atari, because it is a unique example of a game that is terrible and also terribly constructed. It's kind of rare that you see a game that was bad on every level. Oh, and also the whole, you know, devastation of the video game industry thing. It's why I sincerely doubt anything will ever actually surpass E.T. for me on my actual worst game of all time list. Did I just... I didn't even try to dodge him. Good news, guys, we staggered him.
That's what I'm talking about.
You know, it's funny you say that, Anthony. I was actually told that this lore run I've been doing of the FF series is worse in every way than the previous lore run I did 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, 4 years ago, how long it's been at this point. Yeah. I've actually had no less than 3 people tell me that in different words. One person said it rather reasonably. Don't know what he was on about, but he said it rather reasonably. The other 2 people said it in a way that made me just kind of laugh and move on. But I've been told that this lore run is worse than the previous one. In every way. Let me give you another one. This is also from my personal experience. I have been told that I am contributing to everything that is wrong with gaming because I only like older games. I've also been told that I am everything that is wrong with gaming and contributing to everything that's wrong with gaming because of the fact that I only like newer games. This is not a joke. I've actually been told these things. By different people, it's worth noting. So... It's one of the reasons why I've actively been making an effort for the last couple of years to try and pull hyperbole out of my vocabulary. You know what I mean? To be a little more literal in my statement. And I mention that because too many internet people are like, hyperbole! You know, going way off the deep end with how they discuss things. That's why I try to be very literal. When I say a game, at this point in my life, now, when I say a game is gutter trash, that's usually one of the worst insults I can think of to throw at a game. I have thrown that at that FF15 mobile game. Not the one that's not out yet, the stupid empire building one. That game is gutter trash. That's not hyperbole. It is gutter trash. So I've been trying really hard to be a lot more like, well, I mean, you know, like I said, is Mass Effect 3 a bad game? Is FF13 a bad game? Is FF8 a bad game? Is Dragon Age 2 a bad game? Well, 2 pieces gone now.
They saved us again.
Yeah. help us?
Okay. Why are you a lion person?
He's gone.
Is Two Worlds a bad game? Yes!
Just count our blessings. The way's clear.
Right.
Sorry. I actually can't stand Two Worlds. And I haven't even played the whole way through it, and I never will. Unless you guys request it from it, please don't do that. Please don't request me to ruminate on Two Worlds. I hate that game. At least going through Persona 4 was actually a good game that I didn't like. Now, it's funny you say that, Takoida. I'm not in any way disagreeing with you. After all, any given individual has to be the one who decides whether something's good or bad, right? So we can only kind of go off of sort of a vague metric no matter what we do.
Keep it up.
But for me, the gameplay of Final Fantasy Tactics is bad. Now, it's not universally bad, and that's kind of the problem. And that's I'm building up to a point here. But if you put a gun to my head and said summarize the gameplay of FFT in good or bad format, I would say bad. But that's the problem. That's why I don't like giving summarizations. That's why I don't like... Really? This one? Okay. That's why I don't like saying, is something good, is something bad. In fact, if you notice, I tend to resist doing that when people pop on my stream and say, hey, what do you think of such and such? And unless it's something I really feel strongly about, I give a fairly lengthy and rambling answer because it is my honest opinion that a fairly lengthy and rambling answer is necessary to get off the full nuance. Because is FFT's gameplay actually bad? No, it isn't. But this problem, and this problem, and this problem, and this problem, and this benefit, and this benefit, and this benefit, and this benefit, and that takes time to explain. That's pretty much my niche entirely. Let's be honest with ourselves. It's probably the people why you guys are still watching me, is because I sit down and say, okay, so let's talk about this, and let's talk about this. That being said, I think we can all agree that Ride to Hell Retribution is actively bad. I should know. I actually played through the entire game without cheats.
I'm gonna scout ahead.
I'm gonna put that on my video game badges. Like, I don't literally have a video game badge thing anywhere. I just have a mental list of things I've accomplished in my career as a person who plays video games. God damn it. And that one's going on the list. I beat Ride to Hell Retribution all the way through without cheats.
Just too easy.
It's right up there with beating Mike Tyson in the original Mike Tyson's Punch-Out once. Beating Sephiroth in Kingdom Hearts 1 once. Ninja Gaiden, that's up there too. Uh-huh, that's right. Did I get the secret ending? Yes, I did. The secret ending was Alt F4 right at the beginning, and I got that ending. Ah, that's another one, Valvatrix. I have beaten FF2 on the NES without cheats. Without even exploiting. I have to add that because there's an exploit on the NES version that I didn't know about at the time. It's the one where you like, select attack and then cancel and then attack and cancel and attack and cancel and attack and cancel. I didn't know about that at the time.
I kinda have a thing for heights.
I don't know about this.
Alright. So now that I've talked about the general quality of games as a very concept, let's find a boss that makes me want to shove my head into a stove and consistently rammed the door closed on it.
Hey, look.
That's true. I did the Grand Palace without
Acting
cheats
strange.
or a
He
guide
must be weak from
live.
losing his tail.
And I could prove that because it was all recorded live without edits. That was the whole point of that segment.
Yeah, that looks plenty feisty to me.
He's bluffing to scare us off. Let's just go with that, all right? Come on, we can do this.
I thought about filling the time of going up this dungeon with giving you my headcanon for this place. Okay, so it's a giant tower built by the Pulse Okay, hang on. So we know that the original design for Pulse was to be a massive metropolis. Based off of real-life Tokyo, of course, because it always is. Hang on. Just wanted to savor that for a second. And we know that they were originally going to be actually doing basically more prosperous in every way than Cocoon. This is all stuff on the cutting room floor, so it doesn't quite count. But given the fact that we have this giant Tower of Babel-style thing that was reaching up to the heavens, I think, my headcanon, is that this was someplace that was going to be a launching point for the Pulse, or actually was a launching point for the Pulse Fal'Cie and the Pulse Civilization to go after Cocoon. And was the, shall we say, the originator of the War of Transgression. Although the War of Transgression was barely a war at all, so I suppose that's worthy of note.
Look!
Nice.
Hey, statue guys, who have no lore at all.
He's saying thanks.
Okay, that's a nice effect right there. I'm sorry if you didn't catch it. The statue was standing still, but the head was actually following the camera. It was such a subtle thing that you wouldn't really notice it, but it gave him the impression of movement. It was a nice touch.
At last we are free. We go now to hunt down evil where it hides.
See? That's the only canon we know for these guys. They hunt evil.
So I guess that means there are still more monsters like that one out there.
Yep. Go kill all the
Sounds like
Fal'Cie.
it. Somewhere out there on Grand
Please. Kill all of them.
Gone just like that. Big hunk of rock, that thing sure can move.
Except for the ones on
Guess they're just doing what they can too.
Type Zero's roll.
Trying to save the world.
I can't think of his name all of a
it's
sudden.
not all on them. Last time I checked, we are still in this fight.
I can't wait to
Europe is
fight
right down there
Barthandelus
then,
again.
isn't it?
Yep.
So what's it like?
Well, it's kind of small, but it's warm and green and very naturey.
Yes,
Around the
Injata.
Fal'Cie, it was flowers as far as you could see, huh?
View from here? Ain't so rosy, I'm sorry to say.
You want to wait here?
No,
Orients. And yes, that was my point.
I need to see for myself.
By the way, are the FF games still on sale? Because if they are, I mean, you could pick this one up on PC for, I think, what at the time was pretty cheap. I know they're on sale during the weekend.
It's all gone.
Every trace of color.
I kind of wish they'd expanded on this a bit. They never really bothered to actually explain what happened here. Why are all the people dead? There's still Fal'Cie running around. Multiple. So, why are all the people dead? Why did this massive civilization of Pulse just kind of cease to exist? Right? I mean, it's never really developed. It's never really explained. Of course, as I've mentioned, they were really running the clock towards the end of this game, so... I do still consider FF13 a net
We're
positive,
chasing
yes.
shadows.
So I do still
this
recommend
whole
it.
idea of losing our brands is hopeless.
Although that being said, this is one of those games that I personally affix the asterisk of play it with cheats. That is just my opinion, of course. But like FF8, I personally find this game far more enjoyable when you're cheating than when not. And in this case, in particular, it's not because I don't really enjoy the gameplay, like the problem I had with 8. It's more the fact that the game is really, really grindy. When you get to about this part of the game, actually.
There's gotta be a way.
Let's keep on looking. That's what we came here for. We all agreed, and now we're here.
You think it's really possible?
Sure, anything is.
There's no going back.
You don't think I know that?
It's okay, FF8 has built-in cheats on Steam. Although, get the music patch. Do yourself a favor.
Come on.
Now, I mentioned that we don't know why this place was ruined and wrecked and destroyed. We do know one thing that happened down here. Although we don't actually know why. Like, it's the kind of thing that it's like, oh, that's an explanation. And then you start thinking about it for a moment, and you're like, wait.
Move.
Now, what Cashel says is my personal headcanon. But we'll cover that in just a minute. We're not actually there yet. Why not, U.S. Kensington? Do it. Give it.
Now that looks like an easier way to get where we're going.
Well, let's take it. Wouldn't want you to throw your back out climbing, old man.
You really are a charmer, aren't you?
Got him. Sorry, fruit fly. Well, it's not like the gameplay is going to be universally terrible for everyone, Tigzer. There are people who enjoy playing the game. So, maybe you will too. I've always liked the water kind of dripping off of Cocoon there, by the way. It's also a little bit of foreshadowing in a weird way. Wow, camera really does not want to work with me here. Hopefully I didn't bug the camera out earlier. Yeah, so there's crystal dust everywhere. I should be probably drawing more attention to this. You see this stuff? That used to be a final form Seath right there. And there. And up here on the right. I think I've made my anti-grind stance over the years really clear, so I don't really have anything to add to that. I suppose we'll find out if I like 13.2's gameplay when we get there. With mega cheats on, of course. But I still have a schedule to keep. Someday I may play it legit, I don't know. So you notice how many Seath are wandering around what is effectively her old hometown. Also, they have a highway here. So again, you can kind of see bits and pieces of the old, ancient, advanced civilization thing they had going on here. I mean, they literally had streetlights earlier. Which, again, goes back to that whole real-life Earth thing I mentioned. God damn, I forgot how much the mobs here suck. Those vampires. Bleh. That's the big guys.
Which is your house?
What do you mean, which is ours? All of them. They're all ours.
Oh my god, her outfit makes so much sense now. She's a pinko.
Yep. Everyone in the village lived together.
One big happy family?
One heck of a lot of places to hang your hat.
I gotta be honest, that one just came to me. I was thinking about the communist joke, and then I noticed she's, like, all pink. Yeah, that's right. Some of my viewers might literally not know what a pinko is. Basically, a communist sympathizer in a nation that is not communist. It was an insult that was used here in the States against people who were suspected communist sympathizers during the Red Scare. I actually recall at school being called a pinko as an insult.
Do you want to take a look around?
When I was really young.
Gotta find something to help us lose these brands.
Like 5.
That's not the only reason we're here. You're finally home. Make the most of it.
So you notice there's no people here. Of course, that is a deliberate choice. So let's go ahead and tell you the thing we do know going on here. And that's the fact that, that I'm not 100% sure where I'm going, and that all of the people who used to be here are either Seath, crystals, or past crystals. So obviously the statement itself is fairly self-apparent. That, you know, they all were slowly branded, one by one, by the Pulse fal'Cie, and one by one they failed, and so one by one the people just kind of stopped being. Now, as Cashel pointed out earlier, and I was going to save talking about that until now, but whatever. One of the theories about this is that the people at a certain point in time started refusing. That they were just like, no, we're not going to do your damn dirty work for you. Even knowing the fate, we're not going to do it. And so then they kind of died out, one by one. Until there was no people left to brand. One thing that's never really explained all that well is why the fal'Cie insist on doing everything via branding. Like, some things they are incapable of accomplishing on their own. That's logical. I'm with that. But, like, why do they why would they insist on branding people unless it's literally just cruelty? Which, given the fal'Cie, might not actually be that much out of bounds, now that I think about it. Another possibility, and this is, damn, there's no way to dodge this guy. Whatever. Another possibility, which I've heard mentioned several times, is that all these people were made Seath, and then, for whatever reason, couldn't, like, actually were incapable of accomplishing their focus. So, they didn't. And then when they failed, the fal'Cie were like, alright, you're next. Alright, you're next. You know what I could picture the fal'Cie doing? Do you remember Dragon Age 2? I just mentioned it a bit ago, so it's probably why it's in my mind here. There's a bit where we find out that one of the things that the old Tevinter did was they would line up 20 or so slaves, right? Just line them up in a row. And be like, alright, you know, naming them number 1, who's the guy in the front, to 20, who's the guy in the back. So number 1, number 2, shove number 1 into the pit. So number 1 would fall in and die. Alright, number 3, shove number 2 into the pit. He'd fall in and die. Number 4, shove number 3 into the pit. And he'd fall in and die. And it got to number 20, and they'd let number 20 live, and say, alright, you go tell everyone what we just did. That's the fal'Cie, right there. I suppose I could argue that if no people were left to maintain all this stuff, then the fal'Cie would have no reason to maintain this stuff, since they're the ones actually really keeping this stuff functional. And then the beasts and enemies and Seath running around Pulse would be the ones to naturally cause all this wreckage. So I suppose those pieces line up correctly. But I don't know. To me, it feels like this is something that should have been explained more, and just wasn't. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. No, I don't want your loot. Go away. Frickin' loot. So, alright, hands up. How many of you hate this fight? This is legitimately the boss I hate most in this entire game. Even Orphan and his cheating garbage does not piss me off as much as this one. Like, most of the Barthandelus fights are still kind of a mess, but I hate this one.
Ragnarok.
At least you can skip cutscenes in this game.
Come day of
For
wrath,
when you die.
O pulse the sea. Embrace thy fate, thine home to burn, that fallen souls might bear our plea to hasten the divine's return. O piteous wanderer, Ragnarok, make of this day A brave epoch. Deliver the divine. Ragnarok. What?
Sarah.
Oop. Thought we were done with those.
I was waiting for you to open your eyes.
Yeah, me too, Pritzel. So as a reminder, this is Barthandelus.
All the time I was asleep, I knew what was happening. I kept trying to think up a way to save Cocoon. Together.
Sarah.
You get it now. There are no gods with miracles to save us. No matter where you look.
Which is funny because a god with miracles saves them 3 times in this game. After this point in time.
That's why we have to call one. Destroy Orphan. We'll save the world.
Stop it!
You can't do that. You love me too much. You do, don't you, Claire?
Oh yeah, by the way, spoiler alert, her name is Claire.
Enough already. Listen up. We are all shooting for the same goal here.
And the result of that is this.
You son of a...
Philip. I like how he goes for a second punch, by the way.
You betray your fal'Cie to chase after dreams and shadows.
Hang on. So we have fake Cloud, real Cloud, Genova Cloud, and female Cloud? Did I get all that right?
The world you claim to wish to protect now faces the end of days, with no hope of salvation.
I didn't think fal'Cie had the means.
Oh, it won't be fal'Cie who destroy her. For centuries now, Cocoon has provided generously for its human inhabitants every want and need. Coddled them, one might even say. The result being their deep-seated fear and hatred of change and all things alien. Fed, nurtured, and ready to detonate at the slightest spark. The seeds of destruction take root, even now.
Well, I mean, the fal'Cie do literally look at humans as property, or less than property, actually. Property they despise. I really do like how they got across the resentment that several of the fal'Cie really feel for them. That being said, I do have to stress once again, and I hate to say this, but I want you to once again picture this scene as if he wasn't really speaking. Because again, he's not saying anything of note or worth here. He's just speechifying for the sake of speechifying. So imagine if he just shows up as Sarah, doesn't say anything, goes up to hug Snow, and Snow's like, well, hang on, pushes her back. She still doesn't say anything. And then finally they start to get all antagonistic, and then he switches back to this form, still not saying anything, and then Snow's like, hurrah!
What did you do to Cocoon?
One of these days I may edit together these scenes and get rid of his dialogue, just to see what it would actually look like. See if it looks the same way it does in my head.
I resigned, appointing Reigns as Primarch in my stead.
Reigns? He's alive?
The puppet is restrung to serve my needs, yes. Its eyes had long since turned to glass. Of course, the cavalry's eyes will see our friend as nothing more than a traitor to their cause.
Hey, Dean.
They'll say the fal'Cie got to him too, or some such drivel.
I mean, the fal'Cie did literally get to him.
And imagine when I spread word that it's Orphan tugging at his strings. What happens next?
What? You're gonna use the cavalry to take the thing out?
Perhaps. Or perhaps I'll feign the howling of Pulsian wolves and let the fear-addled sheep slaughter themselves first. Either way, the end is at hand.
Pretty close to the end.
Yourselves, will you enjoy the festivities beside me? Or perhaps...
I do love this song, by the way.
Reach the end here, in the land where it all began.
Slimer!
Slimeark? Did he just call him Slimeark? Why would I do Linkin Park music?
This. Give yourself.
This is gonna sting.
Because that way they'll fight back, Formosan. And of course, when that fails... Oh, I got a 0 stars on that? Seriously? Anyways, so they would fight back, and when they refuse to, then, well, we'll get there. It's a little more obvious when you watch the scenes side by side. Probably cosmic, just because it would add to the creepy factor. It would also be a hint to the player that it wasn't Sarah. The idea would be, directorially speaking, what I would want is to get it across the idea that's like Sarah's ghost, or a vision of Sarah, or something like that, that's interacting with the party instead of Sarah herself. And then when, you know, it becomes more and more obvious that she won't say anything, then it would become him.
Time has come. Allow me to extend my invitation. To save a people beyond salvation, there is only Ragnarok. Cocoon suffers. Release her from the pain.
Now, yes, we're coming up on the race scene, which is among my least favorite cutscenes in this game. And I know most of you are going to take umbrage at that, which is totally cool. But I don't like the racing cutscene at all. And it'll be more obvious why once we get through it.
This is the end of the rainbow, huh? Well, here's hoping the pot's full of tips on dealing with crackpot Fal'Cie.
Thank you, U.S. Kensington, for the subscription. As ever, those subscriptions help tremendously. Thank you.
You know, I don't remember this being here before. I guess it's new, huh?
Yeah, must be. I suppose it might be a record of what happened. You know, after we turned to Crystal.
That's a hell of a logic leap, but okay. I'm with it. I knew it, U.S. Kensington. Hey look, it's Etro's Gate. Not really, Mugen. It was always a net positive.
Cocoon, where the slaves of Lindsay dwell, is the enemy of all life fostered by Pulse's sacred hand.
That is Etro's symbol, right? The symbol of Etro's Gate. I'm not misremembering here. I admit the three symbols of the three so-called deities kind of blur for me a bit.
So Fal'Cie determined Pulse's will, chose Lissie, and gave them a focus. Become Ragnarok and bring about the end of Cocoon. And so the beast arose, defeated Lindsay's hateful Fal'Cie, and prepared to tear Cocoon apart. But her providence betrayed our Lissie, draining Ragnarok of strength. Their focus only half complete, the Lissie were taken to the enemy's land by Barthandelus, curse his name. And the goddess said, Lissie who rest upon Cocoon will reawaken, however long they may wait.
Don't we know all this already?
And Ragnarok will rise again, to tear the land from its seat in the sky. Her word is absolute.
No, seriously. We know all this already.
Guess the jig is up.
Cocoon's done for, isn't it?
Yeah, don't sweat it. If we go ahead and smash Cocoon, you know some makers sure to roll up and save the day.
This is a good time to mention that with one exception. Lindsay and Pulse don't do jack in the entire series. I mean, yeah, they made the fal'Cie and set a lot of things into motion, like Type 0 storyline and 13 storyline, but Etro is the one who's active during the course of the series. Pulse and Lindsay just kind of hang back until they turn into a scythe.
As long as fal'Cie are around, this fight is never gonna end. So let's finish it. Let's get Daisley.
So what do we do about Orphan?
We help Orphan. What else can we do? If we can manage to keep it safe.
Another war breaks out somewhere down the road. We're l'Cie. It's not like we can make people stop fighting.
Lightning, you told me on Cocoon. It's not a question of can or can't. We just do it. That's our only choice this time. Maybe it won't do much. Maybe only one person will listen to us. But even then, isn't trying better than doing nothing?
Because ripples can make waves.
I mean, demonstrably,
Kids have gone crazy.
that's not always
Revolutionaries
true.
always get cold crazy.
When I was on Cocoon, I wished on those fireworks. I wished to not let anything happen to Cocoon this time. But I shouldn't have wished for that. Wishes aren't enough. Prayers either. This time I'm making a promise. I will keep Cocoon safe. I promise. No matter what.
I guess it takes losing everything to make you see how much you have to fight for. Huh.
And we're the only ones who can do it, right?
Right.
Yep.
All right then. Let's tie up loose ends.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was to give this game credit, which I am not willing to do, I would say that this is them trying to reject their fate, which of course leads to them being slaves to their fate, so they accomplish exactly what their fate was, and the only thing that saves them from their fate is quite literal Deus Ex Machina. As in, Etro reaching in and being like, hey, hang on. There we go. But let's go beat the game. So I'm going to discuss... Well, actually, I'm going to save my thoughts until I watch the racing scene again. I've actually talked about the racing scene many times. In fact, I've talked about it in this lore run. I talked about it back during FF4. I'm curious if my thoughts will have changed watching it for the 8th time or whatever this is at this point.
Even if we were chasing shadows, our minds were made up. We'd realized along the way that choice was the only thing we had left. Maybe we'd fall short. Maybe we'd never even come close. But someone, someday, would know we'd tried.
Probably, Kay. Zoom. Still very pretty. Still very flat. There's no curvature to that horizon. I stand by my theory on that one, by the way. It just makes more sense in my head, especially since, supposedly, I actually found a quote, by the way, by Matsuno, or not Matsuno, sorry, wrong guy. God, Yakimba? I can't remember his name. The director, that said that Pulse is supposed to be the size of Earth, and Cocoon is supposed to be the size of North America. Which doesn't work. Toriyama, thank you. That's Lindsay's symbol, by the way. In fact, that basically is an artwork of Lindsay right there. My theory that this is not a planet, that this is a plane. I discussed that yesterday. Hello, Puppet Sid. How's it going?
Your Eminence. It is time. The people await your address.
Oh yeah, sorry. To make that clear out loud, not Akira Toriyama. Completely different guy. Even I know that.
And so, we greet the new dawn.
People of Cocoon, my fellow citizens, we have survived the twilight and gather now to welcome the dawn of the day on which we decide our fate. Many are the lessons we have learned during our long night of hardship and sacrifice. And now we face choices. Choices which must be made as our hearts dictate and not abandoned to uncaring chance.
Those are the worst TV screens ever, by the way.
Let us forge ahead with unflinching
They're
courage
literally like this.
and honor the fallen with action. With these hands, we shape the future.
Yeah, I noticed the subtitle thing there. So far my opinion has not changed. Although I will say, especially going through this with analysis mode fully on, it really feels more and more likely that there was supposed to be something here that wasn't. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like there's additional content that's just missing from this part of the game. Especially since Barthandelus says, you know, hey, by the way, I have this whole plot to destroy the world with Sid, which never goes anywhere. And zoom in on that.
Probably should have covered that.
Intruders on the race circuit. Confirm pulse vicinity. All units respond with lethal force.
Hi there. Cut him off!
Okay, I admit, that made me grin a bit.
Now!
You dead!
You first!
Well, he did. Oh, those arms are so weird. Odin's kind of cool. I forget who, but somebody asked me again about the Eidolons towards the end of the game, and I think looking back and having re-looked at all this, I think I'd say Odin is actually my favorite now. He's pretty cool. And I'm not just saying that because I really like the blades that he gives lightning, although that is part of it. What? You gonna fight something? Oh, hey, it's you again.
Now!
God, I have no idea how to do any of these things.
The storm is here!
Yeah, that's probably part of why I like it too, Stu. Because I like her blades a lot in Dissidia.
Until next time. What's that sound?
So, having rewatched that, nope, I don't like the race cutscene.
And speak clearly. The armies of Pulse, they're using transgates. Transgates? How many coming through? Numbers unconfirmed, but it's a full-scale invasion. Eden's being overrun.
So yeah, that whole Sid subplot is literally already gone. Now we're having a Pulse invasion instead, as the subplot. See what I mean by it feels like there should have been something else here? That's a good question, Dragoon. I mean, let's be honest, most of the complaints I'm levying at this game right now could also be leveled at other games. Like FF12, for example. Virtually every FF has troubles in its endgame. Very few FFs have a truly satisfying endgame, in my opinion. I mean, even the final dungeon of 7 and the last disc of 7 was kind of, alright, go do side stuff.
An army of creatures is attacking the city. It's a Pulse invasion force.
Yep, that's
Your
great.
Eminence, we must evacuate.
So, Reigns, is this the cocoon you dreamed of?
My dream is but a Fal'Cie's fancy now. End it.
Why does the barrel have 3 bullet holes on it? You see that? I mean, I don't know guns that well. Maybe there's some benefit to it I can't think of. Blood? What do you think this is, Type 0? Ugh. Also, wouldn't shooting 3 bullets at a time with a magazine that small make you run out of ammo in about 10 seconds of continuous fire? Vincent has a shotgun and 3 full barrels while we're on the subject.
This is out of control. What'll happen to Cocoon?
Yeah, you're right. 30 seconds for a standard magazine is probably too high of an estimate.
Barthandelus' prediction. It's all coming true.
Oh, that's what you were referring to. I thought you were referring to the fact that there was a scope, a barrel, and a second barrel.
Let's get moving.
Right.
Okay.
Actually, I don't off the top of my head, Anthony. Yay, I'm a medic for some goddamn reason. Why did you put me as a medic? Why would you ever... Why are none of these what I want them to be?
To stop the Fal'Cie. That's our real...
Anyways, so let me go ahead and explain why I don't like the racing cutscene. Let me go ahead and start off by saying that it is very, very fancy and pretty. Let's at least give it the credit that it is due. But I don't like the direction of it, and I don't like the direction of it. And I know that sounds like I'm repeating myself, but I'm actually not. Let me try and explain this. Oh, thank you for reminding me. It's possible. Let me do that right now before I forget. So, the base direction is a little too janky, a little too much jump, 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 far too many jump cuts. I really feel that too many directors rely way too heavily on excessive jump cuts. I'm not one of those people who thinks everything needs to be one solid cut, but I really do believe that a lot of directors and editors rely way too much on jump cuts nowadays. And I felt that that game was just, that cutscene was just a little bit too jump, 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 jump. Also, the camera was moving around so much in general that I found myself just going, what am I looking at half the time? Next problem, the directing. When I look at a really well-made cutscene that is really well directed, and I mean like, before you actually get to the actual CGI... Oh, right, I should probably give myself infinite CP here. One moment. There we go. When I look at a really well-made work, I'm talking about really, really well-directed stuff. The kind of things where it's like, wow, you really spent a lot of time and effort really, mapping out exactly what was going to happen where, and making sure that every scene had significance or relevance or purpose behind it and actually added to significance or symbology, right? In other words, the kind of thing that happens basically before you even start rendering it. The kind of thing that happens when you are just designing the cutscene. That's what I mean by the second type of directing. I like that kind of stuff, and I mean, it's not like Square Enix themselves doesn't know how to do that. They have done quite a few significant, awesome cutscenes that still have tons of actual meaning or relevance to them rather than being shiny. Most of the Kingdom Hearts cutscenes tend to fall into that category. In fact, there's so much significance in those cutscenes, most of the time, we don't even know it all until we have context later on. Also, as I pointed out earlier in this Lorerun, the FF4DS cutscene was brilliantly done, and I even did a mini analysis of that, even though my viewers were begging me not to, just to kind of highlight my point. And of course, although I will of course get flack for this, but I don't give a damn, Blizzard, for many, many long years, has had absolutely, truly excellent art direction, to the point where my personal favorite of theirs is the Mists of Pandaria cinematic, which is like every frame of that cinematic, oh, that's not quite true, every second of that cinematic has something in it that is significant other than it's pretty. And it's pretty, of course, can refer to actiony things as well as well-rendered things, so it kind of covers both categories. By contrast, yeah, exactly, Kay. By contrast, that cutscene we just saw was very cool. It was very, awesome. But it had nothing to do with anything. And as Kay mentioned earlier, it felt like they had spent the time and effort working on that because when you're putting together CGI cutscenes before, in addition to a game, you usually do the cutscenes in a completely separate department with completely separate developers, and they're working basically side by side while the people are actually making the game over here. This is why I made that earlier comment, because I have a feeling they're like, all right, we want this big, awesome, cool cutscene of them invading a race. So the CGI department's like, got it. We got your back on that. We'll make this thing. And then as they were making the game, they're like, okay, we're running out of time. We're running out of money. We don't really have anywhere to put this. Okay. Just before they go up and go into Eden, we'll throw that cutscene in there, and then we'll go forward with the Pulse Invades plot. Boom, perfect. And so they just slot it in, and it doesn't really have anything to do with anything.
Okay, I don't know about this.
Like, it's not complete fluff, but it's like 90% fluff.
We can jump.
Huh? What are you?
Nothing to it!
Now, this is the kind of scene that should be awesome and kind of isn't.
Don't want to get left behind, do you? Just remember, don't drop the gizmo.
This cutscene would be more significant if they had literally just come flying in on giant mechas. But I do like the callback to the grenades thing. I do really like the grenade bombs. Or the grav grenade, excuse me. It really is an awesome thing. Now, how many of you remember when they were first showcasing 13? The 13 gameplay. You remember that? Way back. Well before the game came out. Yep. I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure it was 2006. Yep. That was this. For the... Not this, sorry. The thing right after this.
That's how light gets around.
And everyone was like, oh my god. I was with you. I was like, oh dude, this looks awesome. And they actually showed some honest gameplay in this corridor as lightning.
Right.
So yeah, they kind of had to shoehorn this in. But yeah, this right here was actually in the 2006 thing. And I remember being like, oh, okay, that looks pretty awesome. Yeah, the gameplay was not this. You can go YouTube it yourself if you want to, but the gameplay was completely different than what you're seeing on screen here. Of course, this is back when they were still in their We Want Advent Children gameplay phase, so... Aw.
Target's a target.
Oh god, overclock mode. Oh yeah, by the way, just to add some additional praise to this game. Oh god, let me find a good angle for it. I had a good angle in combat, and then combat ended. Well, whatever. If you pay... Oh, there you go. You can literally see the continents on the opposite end of Cocoon there, and the oceans around them. I just think that's really cool. I just wanted to show that off there. You know, I might do the same, Dragoon, because I admit I absolutely love the anti-grav grenades. So right now our Sarah counter is at 71, and the encounter counter is at 181, which I admit is way higher than I thought it would be, but ironically way lower than it really should be, because I've been dodging a lot of encounters this game.
Stay sharp! Move!
Also, we're about to fight Proudclad, finally.
Station secure! Cavalry, stand down! Eden's under our jurisdiction.
Eden is ours. You know I love political stories, but I really feel like they could have done something interesting with the idea of an internecine conflict between Psychom and Cavalry. I mean, there is a fight between Psychom and Cavalry, but we've kind of already seen it. There's really not much else to it, you know?
That's what I'm talking about.
Come on. Hey, Omni.
So the cavalry's here to,
They're here for Orphan. If it's close to the Fal'Cie Eden, they're probably headed for the heart of the Sanctum.
Right. And if they destroy it, bad things are gonna happen.
That's a lot of
So
traffic.
long, Cocoon.
Then we better get there before they do.
And kill Orphan ourselves.
Let's move!
That's right. He's a behemoth with a chainsaw rotor wheel blade that goes away as soon as we actually start fighting him. What? I don't think I noticed that before. Like, you saw it, right? He had this big old buzzsaw sword. And then he... Okay, whatever. Whatever. Hey, traffic stopped. For no explicable reason.
we're never gonna make it.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Anthony. Why didn't he just start in his second stage? That would have made much more sense. Because, I mean, we saw it in the cutscene, right? In fact, it would even make the gameplay more interesting, because now we're fighting a guy who's just skipping his first phase entirely. Just, That would have been cool. Nope. This one's gonna be rough. Okay, we're good. So, who here, who here believes that you could beat the upcoming boss without cheats while blindfolded? I'm referring to Proudclad specifically. Hey, what's up? You doing okay? Hey, you alright?
Finally attacked.
Nope. Okay, we're cool. So, many years ago, I don't actually remember which year, this was several years ago. No, this isn't actually a joke. Proudclad is not an easy fight. There was a guy who was speedrunning FF13, and I happened to be watching live. And he had a donation incentive, basically, to fight Proudclad while blindfolded. And of course, his levels weren't exactly high because he was speedrunning, so he had to do a pretty specific strat. He almost didn't manage it. He got lost at one point in the paradigm shifts. And was like, okay, wait, which paradigm am I on? Listen. Okay, that's the wrong ability, I'm on the wrong paradigm. Switch. Okay, I'm on the right paradigm right now. He almost didn't make it. It was rather fun to watch, though. I couldn't tell you the specific strat he had set up. I don't know FF13 that well. You know what? I don't actually know what his power level at the time was. I could probably go find an archive of it somewhere if I wanted to. So yeah, Proudclad. It's this guy. He was not using cheats. He was speedrunning, Anthony. Also, PS3 version, obviously, since this was before the PC version even existed. Hey, you probably forgot this guy even existed. This is his third scene, I think?
I see your power has grown.
No, fourth. Fourth.
No matter. We will lay down our lives if that is what it takes to stop you. Oh, we're on the same side here. We came back to stop all of this. Nevertheless, you are the sea.
He fought the version right here. That's why I was talking about it here. He fought this specific boss. The one I'm about to wreck.
We can trust the pawns no more than the foul sea who moved them. Humanity's fate rests in its own hands.
Well, I mean, that actually makes a lot of sense. Why aren't you with us? I mean... Also, why is Vanille in my party? That doesn't matter.
Engage!
I'm no one's slave! Take this!
I think I got him.
That's all she can take! Fall back!
Well, the same could be said of any game, Anthony. And it's not really a valid argument. It's like saying, well, anyone could get a hole-in-one in every hole in the world in golf. I mean, you know? Or anyone can get a home run, you know, every time they're at bat or whatever.
I don't understand. We want the same thing. Why can't we just work together?
It's as though
People are so
some
blind
mysterious
about fear, they
author
can't
has
even imagine.
intervened.
Are we too late?
Not yet. And we can't give up. No one else knows the truth. Am I right?
Only we know about the plan to destroy Cocoon.
And which Falsi's behind it. Barthandelus.
Then what are we waiting for? It's time for some payback.
That's what I'm talking about. Once everything's finally out in the open, people are gonna have to wake up from this nightmare.
Let's show them how human we still are.
So I gotta be honest, I thought when I was first playing this that this was building up to an overall presentation of, you know, humans are, you know, a mob is stupid, but a person is smart, right? They've actually already demonstrated that in this story. So I thought they were gonna go in the direction of, you know, as long as we're just capable of mellowing everything out, and talking with everyone, and getting rid of this fear-mongering, we could get to the point where people would be able to stabilize and, you know, we'd have a peaceful solution. Obviously, that's not what happened, but that's what I was thinking at the time. I'm curious how many of you were thinking the same thing. Also, I prefer Omnislash. I had actually thought about that one, though. I think it's mostly the sound design of Omnislash. When you're doing Army of One, it's like, I'm no one's slave. Omnislash is like... I really love the sound effect they use for Omnislash. Also, Omnislash feels a little more impacting, because, you know, in FF7 a multi-attack is ridiculous, insane, and powerful and doomy. In this one, Army of One is certainly overpowered. I don't know, it just doesn't feel like it has the same impact, given the inflated numbers thing. A live blog. I like it. Yes, keep firing as we're being knocked over, men. Wonderful trigger discipline. He did tell you to disengage, you moron. Well, he's lunch. You know, honestly, I don't actually remember Mugen. Yeah?
Easy now.
See, little stuff like that. That's why I was thinking in that direction. It's like, yeah, okay, I can see where they're going with this.
In the military's eyes, we're just more monsters from the terrifying armies.
Oh, sorry. I didn't understand your question at first, Anthony. I mean, the technical answer is yes.
Just too easy.
But if I'm being 100% honest, I don't find the data logs particularly engaging. It's not just the fact that I feel they're a bad execution of getting across, lore. I honestly feel like there's some problems with them. Ah, it's not going to tell me, is it? So some of the analects are the ones written by Ewell. It's like the 4th and the 9th, I believe, which I don't have for some reason. Probably because I haven't been doing any optional stuff. I honestly wonder if some of the art design for this area was what was originally going to be Pulse, back when it was going to be this mega advanced modern civilization. And then when they scrapped that idea, they decided to use this for Eden instead. Because if you ignore the doodads, the vehicles flying around and the monsters, you could kind of see this being just a modern era highway, couldn't you? Maybe a little redoing of some of the textures. Come on. Yeah. Okay. Okay. We're good. Oh, I think I need to go this way. I guess my point, Anthony, is for me, the data logs never really added to the story. I know that sounds weird, but, like, I never really found any info that was in the data logs that really helped flesh out the story for me personally. A little bit more setting building, I'll give it that, but otherwise it was just, I will also, you know what, actually, I'm going to add an asterisk to that statement. I think a lot of the reason for that is because most of the backstory and lore comes from my understanding of this game, comes from after this game came out, aka from 13.2, 13.3, and Ultimanias, so. I don't know. I can't really comment on them because I just have a skewed perspective on them, so I'll ask you guys instead. How much do you think the data logs, ignoring the presentation for a moment, how much do you think the data logs really added to the lore of FF13, specifically? Okay. I also have to admit, I think my opinions on data logs have kind of changed over the years. Like, I remember when Mass Effect 1 first came out, and I was like, dude, and I just sat there reading it for forever. But in more modern years, I look at a data log in general as something where I just kind of go, eh. I'm not sure why. God damn it. I will say, not that I want to excuse Mass Effect's data logs, but I will say that the main ones got voice acting did, I think, help. When you have someone saying, blah, 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 I think it adds to it. In fact, I've actually got an explanation for that to explain to you guys that you might actually totally get. You remember how I did the full Chops quest in Arcades in FF12? And a lot of you, maybe not all of you, but a lot of you said that your enjoyment of that Chops quest was improved by the fact that I was saying everything out loud in voice acting the section. That's what I mean by voice acting actually adding to it. Now, hang on just a second, I got an email about my website. Just want to make sure it's something that I don't care about. Oh, goody. That's great. I'm gonna have to look into that later. Yeah, I guess that's probably why I've kind of moved away from it over the years, Pyro. And Rory. Where am I going? God, this way? I'm turned around now. Sorry, the people who I host my website through, did you guys know I have a website? Are doing some kind of restructuring, and I don't know if that means they're selling the company or what, but I'm going to have to look into that later. No, preemptive. You know what? I'm still thinking about Anthony's question. And I want to reach out to him halfway on here, because I'm still kind of debating this one. So we look at the data log, and it's like, events, meh. People, no. You know, the 13 days, no. History and myth, okay. History and myth was kind of cool. I'm with that. History and myth is the kind of thing that, honestly, is the sort of thing that kind of belongs in a data log if you're not going to add it in the game proper. Locales, I mean, you know, this doesn't really work for me. I made a comment all the way back at the beginning of this game yesterday when I was like, hey, you know, what the hell's with the hanging edge? I have no mentality of where this is. And some people said, well, it's in the data log. And I quote, a relic of days before the War of Transgression, the hanging edge is located near Cocoon's outer rim. No idea what that actually means. The area was once a thriving urban center, but residents were forced to abandon the location when an attack by Pulsian forces cracked Cocoon's shell during the conflict several centuries ago. It has since designated a restricted zone, and, with civilian access prohibited, soon became nothing more than a name on local maps. That doesn't answer any of my questions, right? So I suppose, like, stuff like these, all I can look at is here and say, this doesn't mean anything to me. This means nothing to me. This doesn't tell me anything that wasn't already being presented. It's like, okay, and? Now, Cocoon Society? Okay, I'm kind of with this, although I do think they got a lot of the information in the Cocoon Society stuff just in the game, so that's not really necessary. The Fall Sea? Again, I don't really think any of this is really necessary. We know all we really need to know about most of these people right here. Analects? This is basically the Xehanort reports. That's the effective equivalent of what these things are. You even have to go out of their way to get them. And then there's tutorials and bestiary, so yeah. So I suppose that's my pluses and minuses of the FF13 codec right there. Yes, I'm sure they will, Sonoshi. They get to suck it.
So close.
We'll find another way in.
There's no time for that.
You have Eidolons and superpowers. Break the door down. And yeah, Lindsay symbol right there. Lindsay statue, actually, but same thing.
Go. Gate catch a beat, hero.
Pretty lame.
Hey, remember these guys from the first chapter of the entire game?
Hey, Snow. Hey, where you been?
Man, isn't it amazing how much significance these people have on the plot? Secretly, I'm just gonna tell you right now, the only significance they have on the plot is they're opening a door.
Guys!
Seriously. These guys have about as much impact to the 13 plot as they do in 13-2s.
You're a pulseless sea now, huh?
Yeah. Good times.
Then why didn't you tell us? Why the hell didn't you come and find us?
Well, I was sick of your eyeliner, to be honest.
Yeah, we've been waiting.
Us and the rest of the Purge fugitives.
But damn, those Pulse Fal'Cie sure know how to pick 'em.
Yeah. Out of all the idiots in the world, they choose this one.
Oh, hey, now wait just a minute here. I am your fearless leader. You're not supposed to laugh at the boss.
What?
Whoa. Just like old times, huh, boss?
Don't you worry. We'll take care of the civilians.
And you concentrate on saving Cocoon.
We all will, together.
I like to think that all of them are thinking, who's this kid? Because they probably wouldn't recognize one random civilian from one random mission from however many days ago it's been at this point. Oh, I should look that up. There's actually an FF13 timeline.
Valkyrie, no match for Nora!
Yes, we're definitely going to save Cocoon. By which I mean Etro is going to save Cocoon. I know, right, Takoida? You know what's funny is they could have still kept the overall structure of the game and just given him a frickin' phone. And had him call up on them periodically to be like, hey, what's up? Maybe have some, you know, peach sections or something? I don't know. Okay, so... Wow! That's actually young by FF standards. Cocoon is only 1,300 years old. I mean, that's still pretty damn old, but by FF standards? It's a babe. As in a child, not... Yeah, there's actually several 13 references in this game. I haven't really been pointing them out because, I mean, there's a bunch of 12 references in 12, too. And 7 references in 7, and so forth and so on. Yes, it's not 10,000 years old. Although they don't say how old Pulse is, but I'd assume it's actually about the same age, since supposedly Pulse and Lindsay were building Pulse and Cocoon at about the same time. So that would make sense to me. There we go. Alright, so... So there's that. That happens. Do we have months? Are you going to tell me how long this goes on? Nope. Less than a year. That's all I know. Because they start forming the new government with Hope's dad 1 year after the events of the beginning of FF13. Really, Dragoon? Hey, Reskor.
This stuff.
You know, I've never quite gotten that numbers reference thing.
Huh.
Like, you've played Devil May Cry 3, right?
I don't like this. Is Cocoon falling apart already?
Could be. Maybe Orphan's having trouble holding things together with all this fighting going on.
The clamor of this conflict rouses the Maker.
Giant head! Again, picture of this if he's not saying anything here. Just suddenly, giant head!
Can you halt the cavalry's charge? Filled with righteousness, they will slaughter Orphan in the name of freedom. Your only recourse will be to deliver them death, swift and certain.
No. Unlike you, they'll listen to reason.
We will see about that. I shall savor the demise of Cocoon from atop the highest seat in all of Eden. You too should hurry along to the heart of our grand capital. Your loved ones miss you so. Come, let's see. Fulfill your destiny.
Okay.
Your destiny. We'll decide our own destiny.
We'll kill you right in the stupid face.
His dead body.
I'm sorry. I really don't mean to keep hammering the same point in. It just kind of keeps coming up. So anyways, I meant to mention something that I discovered earlier. Bricks! Look! Those aren't actually that well designed, though, so never mind. Did you know Pulse is actually in this game? I'm serious. Hey, Gnarlex, what's up, dude? Well, I mean, technically we killed Barthandelus in both of his stupid faces. Damn it. So yeah, you remember at the beginning of the game when we meet Anima, and then we defeat Anima, and then we see this giant, really weird, just kind of odd, creepy-looking guy with lots of bells tolling, and he's the one who actually brands us? Yeah, that's Pulse. Really. I actually never knew that. I always thought that was just Anima. That's Pulse. Which means the one and only time Pulse gets involved outside of being a frickin' scythe is to brand us. You know, that does not look like a convenient method of giving information across. Or this, for that matter. I wonder what that actually says, because to my knowledge, that is actually an alphabet.
Really secure.
Oh god, I just realized we're on like a see-through glass platform over a pit. Jesus, who designed this place?
This isn't the time for people to be fighting each other.
Have to stop the Valsy. That's our real focus.
I really didn't mean any offense by it, Anthony, I swear. I would also probably recommend to a new player to this game to read the damn data logs. We are actually approaching the end dungeon, which I always forget exists. But we're not actually in the last dungeon yet.
So this is the hard cocoon.
It's incredible.
That's where Eden sits, controlling all of the other cocoon Fal'Cie. It's also where we'll find Orphan, the battery that keeps Eden running.
Good to know. So what's the plan?
Your usual plan. Charge in through the front door, what else?
Right, the front. Hey, where are you going?
To the front door, she just said that. Oh no! Regular soldiers with guns! Oh, no.
Right.
This is just... wow. I am very intimidated. Oh, sorry. Hey, what's up?
I hope that's our backup.
Well, if it is, I don't think our backup is happy to see us.
Alright, now I gotta pay attention for this section.
This isn't gonna be easy.
Bring it, Shorty.
Come on. Oh, you're not coming anymore? Come on. Come on, you know you want to. Come on. Come on. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Come here, big boy. Come here. Okay, okay. Let's go. Let's go. It's not worth taking more time on. Yeah! And then far right. Yep, there we go. Nope, 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 nope. And far left. Yep, yep, yep. So I don't know if this actually works, or if I was just told this and it just coincidentally works, but one trick that I heard from a speedrunner to dodge things is I keep kind of flicking my camera control, which apparently messes with the AI's ability to track to you. And that's what I'm doing every now and again. Just nope, nope, nope.
Okay, what are they up to?
Nope.
See?
They have failed their focus.
Just like that.
A friendly reminder we're running on borrowed time.
Probably literally turned into Seath just to do that to the players, like, or excuse me, not the players, to the party members. Over here. this is gonna be a bad one. Over here. There we go. No, Seath, not Sith. Although not a lot of difference, really, when you think about it. But yes, these people were branded... Damn it. These people were branded, like, right now, and then turned into Seath. And again, I believe it was literally just them trying to force us into the actions they want us to do. A little bit of a, hey, come on, let's go. Let's go, let's go. I don't think I've seen anyone do this, but yeah, we'll try it for a bit. Why not? I mean, I haven't actually watched. Hey, look! It's Proudclad! Again. Oh my god, Intenture.
He really wants us dead.
Wait, so it's a mantis now? Oh god, that's right. Look at his health. Look at how much I'm hitting him for. I'm doing Quint 9 with every strike here. It's actually Proudclad. You can see it right there. The Proudclad. It's actually the name of the ship. Oh my god. But I like to call him Proudclad because FF7 references. It also amuses me more. I may have to actually bring out Army of One on this guy. Let's see, so his attack is buffed, his hasted, his magic is buffed, looks like his armor is down, and his magic defense is down. Oh, we got him. Yeah, no, this fight... This fight. Honestly, that fight's probably worse than the Barthandelus fight, the previous one. It's just... I don't know why I remember the Barthandelus one worse. Hey, what's up, dude?
Rush, it's over.
Yeah, give up, dude.
One of my soldiers.
They're super dead. Your boss turned them into Seath to make a statement. Oh, God, Kay. Well, at least this one lost weight.
Why are you doing this, Rush? I mean, haven't you done enough?
Enough. Under Foul Sea orders, I've orchestrated mass murder.
Yeah.
All to answer the fears of a panicked populace.
Mm-hmm.
For a people utterly dependent on the Foul Sea. It was the only solution I could offer.
You know, as head of one of the military branches, you probably could have instituted a propaganda campaign to get rid of that fear, I'm just saying.
Even
would have taken longer and been less successful, but it was a solution.
You knew the Foul Sea were using us?
I believed their rule was best for Cocoon's present and future prosperity.
As you can see by the many dead people and the fact that they will literally... I'm sorry, I hate to keep rehashing this, but they literally just turned random mooks who are working for them into Seath to make a point. How many people do you know who will walk up to someone and give them a fate literally worse than death as a text message? Hey, listen. I'm going to pick up burritos later. Would you like extra guacamole? Stab, stab, stab! Hang up the corpse.
But it seems I misjudged their benevolence. If this is my punishment, I accept it.
Then why did you just fight us just now?
So, you're just gonna let everything go to hell, is that it?
You're right. One thing remains. This is SciComm Director Roche. Attention all SciComm and Guardian Corps units. Suspend L'Cie operations. I repeat, suspend L'Cie operations. All
Units should focus their efforts on evacuating the civilian population.
Wait, what? The military doing something useful? Hey, John Solitude.
I do not issue this order as an absolute. You are free to make the choice.
That wouldn't be an order then. I'm sorry for snarking. I just really feel Rosh was such a mistake in the story. He should have been less or more.
Or was that a farce as well?
Stay alive. We'll see you when it's over.
He's not in 13-2, is he? For God's sakes, you dumb dog. Nobody likes you, dog. Nobody!
I'll trust in your humanity. Let's see. The fate of Cocoon is in your hands. This is my end. The end which I have chosen.
Heroes don't need sequels. But yeah, I was pretty sure he wasn't resurrected at any point. I had no recollection of him. I mean, it's not like Rosh would be the first person who died and then comes back in 13-2, would he? Cough, cough, Nabat, call, cough. Or whatever her name is. You know, Evil McGee. Wait, there was a Gorsh moment? When did Goofy get into FF13? And why did I miss it? Damn dog! Yes. Okay. Final save. New merchandise available. Really? Really? So here's the church. I mean... No, that's basically what it is. We're still not at the last dungeon.
Where's the cavalry?
If they made it this far, we'll see him soon enough.
Oh yes, Tixar. Brains. Oh, excuse me. Walking Dead, right. Intestines. Intestines.
Not them two. They're all Seath.
And then they all died. So this is finally the last dungeon. I mentioned that because anybody who watched my last marathon of this might remember, I actually forgot this dungeon even existed last time I played this game. Lorerun Orphan's Cradle. It's a weird, freaky place, which is actually one of my favorite maps in Dissidia. What?
This is it.
No, Tixar.
A lot of dreams died to get us
I actually won't even be going to bed until like
be for nothing.
11 tonight, so I'm going to be really tired tomorrow when I start 13-2.
Just our future we're fighting for.
We'll do it for everyone. Fal'Cie rule ends here.
Daisley, we're coming for you!
personally, I like to think that this is literally in the middle of Eden. That this is effectively the core where all this stuff is actually run from. I'm not sure if that's true at all. I just thought. Apparently, Takoida, Orphan is listed as if he's the battery. So, I mean, logically, you'd think other Fal'Cie would survive, but shrug. All right, guys, red, blue, or green.
That looks like a gate to Grand Pulse.
A last gift from Barthandelus?
Yeah, I agree, Takoida. That sounds logical.
If we're gonna run away, now's our chance.
So, guys, which way we going?
Translation. This is effectively the point of no return. I suppose I should say this is literally the point of no return. Because after this, it's just endgame. Yeah, the game's saying, you are not high enough level for Orphan. No, trust me, we cheated with Orphan. No, I am not actually polite heathen. Actually, maybe I will, but probably not. Probably not. I mean, I'll watch it later, but not live. Yeah, is this... Oh, okay. I gotta be 100% honest. I think this is one of those dungeons that's just weird for weird's sake. We've actually talked about this throughout the FF series as a whole. It's like, alright, we need something to be the last dungeon. God damn it. Alright, let's just make a bunch of weird things here. Okay, weird things, go! Like, at least sometimes they bother to have the weird things actually matter. Like, you know, the cityscape in FF10. What was the point of that? Even Memoria, which is pretty weird for weird's sake, at least did have a distinct point. It was just really, really obscured. Not obscure, obscured. There you go, this is the internet. It makes sense. Except, wait, there's no pornography here. Wait, that's why all the people are in such a riotous... I'm done, I'm done. You know what I find funniest about this is I'm still using the starter game, the starter equipment that I got at the very beginning of the game. You know, the equipment I started the game with. Hello, Carbuncle. That's true, there's no cat gifs. What the hell? I feel gypped. Well, FF2 is kind of a debatable, Mike ABC.
Which way do we head?
Yeah, I don't know why Carbuncle's here either. It's okay, though. The one thing that is definitely in this internet is complaining about the Final Fantasy series. Lots of that here. Am I moving? No, I'm not. Move. Go. 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 Hello? I'm lost. Oh, okay. I guess? God, that was disorienting. Yeah, I guess I already moved? Because I'm in a new area now. Did you seriously not aggro me? Okay, now you did. Well, what's funny is it felt like I was moving, but when I turned the camera to the side, I saw the movement of the moving platforms. Like, oh, obviously, I just was saying the moving platforms, and I wasn't actually moving. And the minimap hadn't changed, so I was presuming that I had moved. My bad, as they say. You know, it's funny. Last time I got here was like, what, 1 in the morning? And I was really, really tired. Not just from FF13, but from the Lorerun in general. And I was still kind of sick and still kind of recovering. And then Orphan pissed me off. I think I actually cussed. One of the very rare times where I do that on camera. And it was just like, ugh. And I remember going through this whole dungeon, my overall reaction was just, ugh. Why won't this dungeon end? Randomly. Some guys. Roar. Well, thank God for that, Mr. Swansea. I'm sorry, I really wish I had some lore or some anything to discuss here, but I really don't have anything. I really don't know what's up with Orphan's Cradle. And I did look into it. I spent, God, like an hour this morning refreshing myself and finding what little tidbits of the Ultimania could... By the way, fun fact, 13's Ultimania, at least I didn't find... So, most of the Ultimanias, only bits and pieces of it are translated into English.
If there is one, I can't see it.
I can't do this.
But I can only find a couple of translations of the 13's Ultimania.
But that's what Barthandelus is going for. Don't you see? Make us feel guilty, lose faith. And the second we give up, it's focus time.
Wait till we're broken, slip on the leash.
Yeah, well, when you think about it, having all this empathy, it puts us humans at a big disadvantage.
Maybe. But it's also what makes us dangerous.
Bang? What's wrong?
Oh, nothing. Just that time's running short.
It's okay. My mind's made up this time.
I'm gonna become
We'll just make
Ragnarok.
Yeah. I guess we will.
Interesting. How does that even work? Okay, so... I know, right, Roximus? Same problem. And Selma. So, this place... I guess we kind of already joked about this, but to make this clear, this is physical data. I'm dead serious. This is actually data that is being used by Orphan to power Cocoon. Physically manifested, okay? So, that makes a little bit of sense. But here's the thing that makes me kind of go... This place was apparently, and I didn't know this, this place was apparently supposed to appear in 13.2. It didn't, but there's still artwork of it and still designs of it. So, the data, which has physically appeared, would then crash into the world, into Pulse, for 13.2. So I want to say that sentence again, just in case I didn't make my point clear. The internet was supposed to crash into the planet. I don't know, Lord Cowbell. I am genuinely astonished that, given the years and Square Enix slowly realizing the fact that, you know, there is a Western audience, a European audience, and an English audience for their stuff, I am legitimately astonished that they have not actually come out with the Ultimanias in an official format over here. It's bizarre. They would sell. Whatever. Instead, we have to deal with partial translations done by fans. I'm sorry, my brain is still kind of stuck on the fact that the internet was supposed to crash with the planet. I feel like no matter how many times I say that, it's not really going to get across the point. I mean, okay, in fairness, it's not the internet. It's just one particular network. Although that actually arguably makes it even worse. Starting to feel like I'm not going the right way. Oh, come on, it was right there. Fine, die. Getting in my way. Oh, come on! Actually, we do have one viewer who hasn't been around in forever who lived in Japan, although she moved there. And she hasn't been on ever since, which actually really sucks, but whatever. And we have Golvig, but he would probably not appreciate being called like Japanese. And if you're watching this, Golvig, I hope you get the joke. So, how about that sports team, guys? I don't know about you. I was watching this sports the other day. And I was like, you know what? This sports was really sportsy. Like, this one guy sportsed his way all the way across the sports terrain and got the sports ball into the sport net. It was fantastic. Oh my god, you should have seen it. I should probably save, just in case. You know, you want me to kill Orphan. Why don't you just teleport me to him? No, seriously. You've already toughened me up. Oh, by the way, you notice how Etro's Gate keeps appearing in this section? Etro's Gate is actually in this game quite a bit. In this final bit, I should say. Hey, there's only two sports I've ever really been interested in watching. Football and Formula 1. Yeah, sorry, European football, sorry. I need to keep clarifying that. Oh man, that was amazing, Cashel. But it was out of bounds, so we had to do oh god, I can't think of it all of a sudden. A starting lap or whatever. FF15 PC? Ooh. I'm more excited about the fact that FF15 on the PC will have full mod support. That's awesome. But FF15 on the PC is something that's been hinted at for a while, so my reaction to that was just basically awesome. I'm curious what kind of mods people will come up with for 15. I'm also curious what kind of mod tools they will support. Because they say full mod support, and that usually means releasing dev kits.
Really?
So, here's hoping. Ah, damn it! Almost made that. But football's on Saturday night, guys. Oh, right, NFL is on Monday night, isn't it? Gridiron is on Monday. I had to think about that. I'm actually not a big fan of Gridiron. Sorry. The last time I actually watched Gridiron was when the 49ers were actually winning everything in the face over and over and over again. There we go. I can't believe I did that, but I think I get a hell yeah for that. Or a Kefka. I'll accept a Kefka for that as well. Not going to dodge these ones. Yeah, these guys are just way too irritating to dodge. Unfortunately, no, Dragoon. I have actually been told by Gary, who also watches Manchester United, that I need to watch their latest match. Thank you, Shadow Machine. That would be cool, Takoida. Like, if we could really legitimately mod the gameplay of 15. God, there's so much I'd love to do if I had the time and the capacity to really mod 15. We're getting close to the last time we hear clack, 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 clack. I just want to do it a couple more times. I want you all to have this burned into your memories forever. Clack, 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 clack. Clack, 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 clack. It's Tiamat! And she has 1 trillion health, roughly. Actually, how much health does the Tiamat Eliminator have? I'm really curious. God, you know, honestly, I think it took me several days to get through Orphan's Cradle when I wasn't cheating. I mean that sincerely, playing with a few hours. And of course I wasn't dodging encounters, so I'm just like, slog, slog, slog. Slog, slog, slog. I mean, I even consider this game to be a net positive, but... Thank you, Berserker. But... this whole final dungeon is just bad. I'm sorry. This... not the first final dungeon that's bad in an FF game.
Fal'Cie are the tools. Shame they don't have a clue what their masters want.
Remember, in case you forgot, as you know... Ugh. Okay. I think we're there. Finally, finally, finally. We're actually in the server room now. I think we're back in the material plane, guys. The only thing I wonder is, why are there couches here? Why would there ever be couches here? Look at that. Look! There's couches! Why are there couches in a Fal'Cie server room? Explain that to me. Oh yeah, by the way, there's Lindsay statues like every freaking where.
Let's do this.
Including on Orphan, by the way. Orphan's second form, I think? First or second. That's what I'm here for, Anselmo. Well, one of the reasons I'm here. Time for the cheating boss. I mean, the final boss.
Yeah. Ready.
Oh god, I actually forgot about that image, Pretzel. That is a really uncomfortable looking throne.
This is it.
You know what? You're right. They literally cheat, gameplay and narratively speaking.
Little lights. Just like in Emma.
Life's spark shines on, once freed from its fleshly shroud.
Dodge!
Sarah!
Nope.
Dreams, meanwhile, shatter in a flash.
Dodge! No!
You know, he just keeps trying to punch him.
Think. Where's the real Sarah?
Hey, listen. It isn't real. It's just fal'Cie smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, they don't work wonders. They play tricks.
That's actually a fairly accurate statement. The fal'Cie, for all their power, are exceptionally limited.
At last, my errant l'Cie. Men fight men. Men battle beasts. Cocoon wars with Pulse. There can be no end to such conflict. But Cocoon's end is imminent and inevitable. Will you not at least slay Orphan and make it quick, as an act of mercy?
Mercy? You mean murder.
What's the
And
difference?
Cocoon won't die.
Sorry.
We're not here for that. We came for you.
Such willful insolence. Disappointing. You prolong Cocoon's suffering. And to what end? Refusing me but condemns another to face your focus tomorrow. If you truly seek salvation, you will obey.
Hey, buddy. Nice transition. So how much HP does this guy have? Just curious.
I'm no one's slave. You're going down. I'm no one's enslaved!
That's probably plenty for now. No stars!
Hey, put a lid on it.
Release. Last release.
That line right there is the only line I think I would give Barthandelus in my version. You know how he's been silent the whole game? Just have him comment, "Oh, at last release," as he finally dies. Of course, he doesn't die because we're about to talk to Barthandelus again in a minute.
It's done.
Maybe, Dr. Nimbus?
All right!
We did it! We beat the game, guys! Yes! Agreed, Kay. Agreed.
It's the bird again.
Oh, hey, man, you know, one of these days we really need to kill that bird. It's okay, it's literally the next thing we're gonna do. I like how it's like being. So there's Barthandelus. And that's supposed to be Lindsay on the left. See it? That's supposed to be Lindsay. Although it's not actually Lindsay, by the way.
Yet bound were we in a cocoon prison, impervious to our power. And so we thank you for granting us our longed-for birth.
Die, sleep. No, not anymore.
We are the abandoned.
I remember, man. He was awesome.
About to die. Our name is Orphan.
I know this is all dramatic and all, but I just want to ruin this by pointing out that they had the character artist design Orphan with, like, the most vague instructions. Make him like a sword, and make him have, like, a creepy old guy on the side. And then they wandered away and started working on the rest of the game and came back. And he was like, okay, here's the design I came up with. And they're like, oh, that's cool. We'll make that guy Barthandelus. Anyways. Orphan 1, also known as Screw You. I really don't like how Lindsay is constantly creepily just stroking Orphan there. The real Orphan is the orb in the middle, by the way. The rest of this is just a mess. I'm not playing around anymore at all. Do you honestly not know, Kaiser? I mean, first of all, the boss cheats in lore in a way that'll be really obvious in a minute here. Hang on just a second. He cheats in two ways. He cheats in lore, which will be obvious in just a minute here. Yeah, it's not really Lindsay at all. It's just a thing. We'll do this cheat, I think. That should be fine.
You're going down.
Anyways, I forget if it's his first form or his second form. I think it's his second form. Has a thing where he's literally invincible. As in, you cannot damage him in any way, shape, or form. Also, he has a chance to just kill the party leader, which game over. It's just like that. And nothing you can do about it. So that's how he cheats in gameplay. He is a straight-up cheat, artificial difficulty boss fight. It's dumb and I hate it. The way he cheats in the narrative will be obvious after the coming cutscene. So, this is something I was actually asking most of the game when I first played this. If we're so defiant, I mean, why doesn't he just see this?
Have you ever paused to consider our reason for making l'Cie of men? We fal'Cie are crafted for a single purpose, and granted finite power to that end. With men, it is not so. Men dream, aspire, and through indomitable force of will achieve the impossible. Your power is beyond measure. We take l'Cie, that we might wield such strength. Through you, we obtained freedom from our bondage.
He's still doing it! He's still doing it!
Your focus alone remains.
He's doing it! You see him!
Defy it, and all will be for naught. Cocoon's sacrifice, and that of Grandpa's as well. Yet, if we but summon the Maker, we will be granted the chance to begin again. All our sins absolved, and the world born anew. Submit l'Cie, become Ragnarok, lead us into the light.
Let her go!
We have no need of flawed l'Cie.
Orphan! I'll do it. I'll destroy you.
Again. You know, considering we were literally just fighting Orphan, I'm not sure why he even needs to do this. We were literally just fighting Orphan. Why even have this in-between where he has to cheat in order to get us to fight him? Now, I'm sorry, I should clarify something, by the way. I think it's cheap, with a P, that he has that invincibility stagger mechanic. But I think it is cheat, with a T-ing, that he's got that instant death mechanic. So I want to clarify my statement there. With regards to why I find the gameplay cheating.
The will to guide a world unto oblivion. Can you bear the sin of our salvation?
Again.
You heard me. I said I'll do it!
You can't! I'll be fine. And you can't forget our promise. We promised to save Cocoon. We promised!
I made another promise too. To protect my family.
Fang?
Sometimes. You gotta choose! Back off!
What did you do? This ain't the time to be losing it, lady!
You too, huh?
What do you gain from hurting Vanille? We're in this together.
This is my focus.
No one's gonna stop me!
At this point in time, why do you care about your focus? Like, after all you've been through. Okay, I guess I can acknowledge the fact that Orphan doesn't realize we can kill him. We can, it's worth noting. We do! So, but it's possible Orphan doesn't realize we can kill them, I should say. And so that's why Orphan's like, come on, Ragnarok it up, let's go! Well, we're all Seath.
Everything I do. Why? Is this what you meant to happen?
Yeah. Duh.
All of them.
Even Vanille.
After
Oh,
all
my
we
bad.
went through.
Not Vanille. I'm sorry. I do kind of like how she doesn't fight back here.
Guess I deserve it. After what I did. Are they my sin to bear for choosing salvation?
Please, stop.
That would probably really hurt.
Stop it! Give them back!
Have I mentioned that whole cruelty thing? I think I mentioned that before. So... well, we'll get there.
Salvation is born of sacrifice, miracles of misery. From shattered shards, a new crystal legend will arise. Yes. Let anger be your strength. Despair. Despair and save us all.
Well, Ragnarok is a girl, so I suppose that makes sense.
Lo, the day of wrath is come.
Well, it's only half of Ragnarok. We actually see the full Ragnarok in the ending when both of them combine into it. Although the full Ragnarok basically just looks like Bahamut and Hekatitikitikia combined. Hey, Lorerun. This is a weird selection of cutscenes to pull from out the game, by the way. I mean, I get the idea, but they picked some weird cutscenes to pick. The point here, though, is that Etro has been watching them the entire time. Like, the entire time.
Drive us. We just had things worth fighting for.
Did I mention that Etro sent them the Eidolons? I mentioned that, right? Although, for some reason, the Eidolons live in the in-between realm, despite being from the unseen realm.
How many times must you fail?
Am I the only one really not comfortable for just how animated Orphan's Barthandelus mouth is? I really don't think... oh, God, I can't even do it.
Let me go.
Retake the form of Ragnarok. Deliver us that which we have too long been denied.
He's doing it again. Every time he's not animating, his hand just does this. I suppose it's actually his left hand.
Steep yourself in hatred. Let it infuse your soul with the strength it craves. Your awakening demands an offering of pain.
Vanille. Run.
No!
Yeah. I'm sorry, if it's not clear, what he's doing to her here is actually really messed up. He literally heals her, and then tortures her, and then heals her, and then tortures her. He's like, come on, kill me already! I want you to do it. I want you to do it. Come on. Come on, I want you to hit me. I want you to hit me.
I swore I wouldn't run away anymore.
I'd rather fight and lose than give up without even trying.
She's fine. See? So, yeah. Etro reverted them from being Seath, because apparently Etro, despite being a deity who was created with no powers, has the ability to do that. I'm not actually kidding. This isn't speculation. Etro was the one who reverted them from being Seath.
Miracles out of misery. You've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, Fang. Who'd be dumb enough to swallow that crock?
Sure. We've all had better weeks.
We're alive!
But you can't be. Could be more Fal'Cie smoke and mirrors.
Fang, I'm sorry.
We made you go it alone.
Second time now, isn't it?
But where were you?
Somewhere cold and dark. Just thinking about everything that happened up until now. And then it was like...
It was like I had a glimpse of the future. Everyone was smiling and laughing. Even Sarah. Even Light.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
I don't know. New focus or something. Thinking didn't really make sense, of course. I mean, knowing we were worm bait and all. But as luck would have it, next thing I know, I feel somebody pushing me right along.
You were there too, Fang. Same side. All of us. Together to the end.
I'm sorry. I won't do the hand thing anymore. It's just bugged me every time I've seen Orphan. Every time. Because he just does this. He just sits in the background. I'll stop. I will stop. So yes, Etro's like, get the hell out of my realm. Get back out there and fix things. God damn it, I am so sick of these Fal'Cie idiots making everything worse. Go! Fix! Kill! No, it wasn't Lindsay, it was Etro. And they do actually say it's confirmed in other works, including in the Ultimania.
We have a new family.
What I don't understand is why they didn't say it was Etro here. Etro is part of the mythos of the game. Why not say that outright? Why not just be like, you know, I saw a vision of the Eye of Etro telling me I need to go onward, you know, boom, done. Hey, what's up, Orphan? Time for Orphan 2. And then Orphan 3. By the way, guys, even with cheating, I may actually lose here. Because of the instant death thing.
Brand of L'Cie, the symbol of the focus we all faced. The mark of the fate we all shared. Proof of the promise we all made.
The heroes never die.
That's really not true.
We've got a world to save.
Ask Ramza.
If we have the power to destroy Cocoon, then we have the power to save it. You say you want your day of wrath, do ya? Well, it's coming right up.
So we're gonna kill you, Orphan.
What they really want.
Wait, why are we killing Orphan again?
We can do it. I know we can. We made it this far.
That's...
Right.
Let's make a real miracle.
Do you want me to spoil that, Kay? Because I haven't spoiled it yet.
His side.
Gate of Etra. Yeah, so, I didn't spoil anything, Kay. And that's the truth of that. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. So here's Etro, god damn it. This is Orphan 2. literally designed like
No.
the Gate of Etro.
We overreach you.
Is that so?
Oh god, it does
You
look
don't
straight out of
believe in
Bayonetta.
anything. You gave up on life before you were even born. Sat poisoning Cocoon from the inside, waiting for someone to come and destroy you. Sure, you think the end of the world is salvation. All you care about is death's release. So take it, and leave the rest of us alone. We don't think like that. When we think there's no hope left,
We kill the bad guy because... Wait.
we keep looking until we find some. Maybe Cocoon is past saving, but it's our home, and we'll protect it or die trying. We live to make the impossible possible. That is our focus.
It has been argued that Etro actually did give them a focus here, since Etro is theoretically capable of doing that.
Find your own road to hell. Something more radical. I'm no one's slave.
Bye. Yes, Aunt. Crystarium expanded.
We're here to stop him. We've come to save Cocoon, right?
Oh god, you're right. She's literally a slave in 3, isn't she? That's so horrible. There we go. Starting to worry for a second. Well. Yeah, as of this moment, the party just killed, you know, Orphan, so they think... Oh, by the way, notice Etro's gate right there.
Hey, grab my hand.
Okay.
Fang! Vanille!
Vanille?
Wishes can come true. But not if you just wait for miracles. Ready. Miracles are things we make for ourselves. Here and now.
So here's the real Ragnarok. Notice it's made of chaos, by the way. I'll bring that up later. Just wanted to point it out for now. Also, yes, chaos looks... Hi, third. Thanks, third. I really appreciate it. Well, they're both female, okay? What was I saying? Right. So, it is interesting to note, just really quick, that the Star Scourge in FF15 has so many behind-the-scenes similarities to Chaos. I'm pretty sure they were intended to be the same thing originally. That's all. I'll talk more about that later. So there's Hecaton's here, plus Bahamut. Notice it's literally causing heat and death as it's colliding down here. I mean, look at that. Look at that. It's okay. Everyone lives through this. I mean, most everyone lives through this. Somehow. Yes, Kevin. I was actually really debating not doing it, but I think I am going to go ahead and edit it. That is... I just want to remind you, we're looking at something the size of North America. Give you a little bit of perspective on the scale. That giant blob over there is twice the size of Texas. Yes, I have, Marcus Gray. Hey, look, it's the logo. Yes, I know, Chemic. And it'll have mod support. Hey, it's Etro's Gate. So that's the second time that Etro in the game has actually interfered and fixed things. Now, no music. No sound. I know everyone thinks I'm this horrible Dark Rider, but wouldn't it have had so much impact if this was the end of the game right here? If it just stayed on this shot, with the new sun rising, and the main hero's crystallized cocoon in the background, and then it faded out and went to credits. Picture that for a moment. Seriously, picture what that would have been like. Just, oh my god. I'm sorry. I think that would have been a truly moving, powerful ending if they had done that. In my opinion. Like right there, boom, cut to credits. Right there. I need to mute this, don't I? Damn it, damn it.
Wake up.
Maybe I don't. Hang on. This is the third time Etro has intervened now to remove them from being crystal. Yeah, I do. I know this song. Damn it! Anyway, so this is the third time Etro deliberately and personally intervenes during the course of the game, which makes 4 times Etro intervenes across 13. Sorry, guys. Yeah, actually. The 4th time, I guess technically the 5th time, but yeah, the 4th time that Etro will be intervening will basically be in this cutscene. She's going to paradox time here, which is going to cause chaos to kind of go weird, and that's going to have lightning end up being consumed by chaos and ending up in a place that's actually outside of time and in between the realm of life and death. So, that's a thing. How would lightning even know? I am not kidding. No, Follow Bear. You think this story has problems or is nonsensical? 13.2's story, I'm literally going to sit down and make a chart to help keep track of the different time jumps. Oh yeah, and of course Sarah and Dodge there. I actually forgot about that step. So Etro releases those 2 as well, while we're on the subject. Oh, Sarah. Oh, thank God, you can star in 13.2 now! You know, I really do think that they should have just shrunk Cocoon. That does not look like something that is the size of a continent in the background there. So, the encounter counter finished off at 209, for anybody curious. So far, the Sarah counter's at 77. Excuse me. The fact that it's still going up is kind of hysterical. I mean, I'm sorry, I know that it's just a scale issue, but that really does not look like a continent in the background. Look at that. Look at that. But there is one thing that's actually really cool right here. I like this, that the two of them ended up together in the crystal, supporting Cocoon up. Yeah, a city I think would have been plenty big, honestly. I mean, I feel like people who develop things don't realize how large a city is, you know? I mean, I have to drive 30 minutes that way to get to the middle, like to get halfway through the city I live in, you know? I mean, granted, that's a metropolitan area, but still. That's a decent distance. That's like a couple of days trek. Oh, I can unmute it on foot. But whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, FF13. Ironically, I only had about an hour left of time to stream anyways, so we're definitely not starting 13.2 today. I didn't think we would. Looks like I made the right choice in going ahead and not finishing this up last night. This actually took a little longer than I thought it would. It was about 2 hours and 56 minutes, so whoever guessed 3 hours was really close. Anyways, so yeah, I actually don't really have much to add to this. I will say, I know you guys are going to make fun of me for this, and that's okay. I really do think my enjoyment of this game was absolutely, without question, enriched by cheating. And I know that that's not really a compliment. I mean, that really isn't... Ah, that was you, Dragoon. That really isn't a compliment, but I still enjoy the game. I still actually enjoyed going through this. I had fun with it with you guys. I still think this game is a net positive. So, you know, I had fun. I hope you guys had fun, too. Yeah, just like FF8, it's the same situation. I still enjoy playing through it. I probably will not play 13 again in the future. At this point, the only way I could ever perceive going through 13 again in the future is if I do a truly in-depth run-through of it, which means I would have to not cheat, which I don't want to do. So, that will probably not happen. This may legitimately be the last time I go through this game. Hi, Disc. I was looking at houses up there. Did you know houses up there are super expensive? This is my... Yes, this is my third complete playthrough, and I've played through a couple sections of the game several times. So I've probably played through this game about 3.5 times total over the course of playing this game. No, Mother! Or, what was her name again? Nora! That was her name! Nora! And Man! Well, Man was before this section. Now, let me just go ahead and say that while the plot of this game is, in my opinion, the plot, not the story, but just specifically the plot, I do think the plot specifically is a little weak of this game. I have to say, at least one thing I could definitely give this game credence for is that I don't have to sit back and be like, okay, hang on, let me really think about this to explain this plot. You know, I don't need a diagram to explain 13's plot to you. 13.2 and 13.3, I'm going to get to the point where it's like, okay, hang on, so... okay, where do I start? This, and then there's... Okay, so there's this, there's that, God, what's this? That guy, and then he's going to go over there. And then there's this, but... Well, no. Well, hang on. This actually happened before this, but from his perspective, it happened after it. I mean, I usually get time travel, but 13.2's approach to time travel is basically Doctor Who's approach to time travel, which is not bothering to really think it out and make it work. No offense to Doctor Who or Doctor Who fans. I even like Doctor Who. But Doctor Who isn't really all that great with its time travel. I'm sorry. That's not the part of Doctor Who that's good, my opinion. So. Yeah, it is definitely a timey-wimey kind of a situation. But I'm kind of looking forward to going through it. Figure out how it works. For now, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to go take care of my amazing niece. So, again, of course, I will not be on until tomorrow. But tomorrow, at 10 a.m. EST, I will be being like, hey, what's up? And we'll be doing 13.2. I actually have no idea how long 13.2 will take. I've never played it before. So we'll see.